Yo, what's going on? This is Mike, and I am the Sports Dope. You can find me on Twitter at @ThatSportsDope. I'm on Instagram with the same name. You could also go to mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope, and there you'll find a bunch of social media icons in the top right corner of the page. And there you'll be able to find stuff for YouTube and iTunes. And if you wanted to follow my stupid Reddit comments, the few that I do make, then you'll be able to find all that stuff there. If you happen to go to the Twitter or the Instagram, you'll notice some fucking dope new artwork that my good friend Andrea Fowler did for me. You could find her at AndreaFowlerDesign.com or at Andrea Fowler Design on Instagram and Twitter. That's Fowler, Fowler. She's fucking awesome. And she hooked me up with some good stuff. So that shit website that I have running right now, just to get the feed to be able to pump this horse shit into the cyberspace. I'm gonna spruce that up a little bit. Just gotta find the time. Between work and crunching the numbers to pump out mediocre picks to you guys, and just rambling with this, and hanging out with the. I don't have so much time. And I'm gonna have a little bit less of it here soon. Just found out I'm gonna be getting a new dog. It's fucking awesome. Can't wait. So 2 weeks from now, right after that weekend after Thanksgiving. So I will bring him on there. It's Bernie's Mountain Dog Poodle Mix. It's a Bernedoodle. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I do have an awesome dog now that I haven't brought on yet, but it's too late to get that going right now. I'm already in the middle of my ramble. So, let's dive into the picks, though. Enough about me and the pets that I haven't brought on yet. But, getting a new dog, gonna be fucking cool. But for now, what wasn't cool was last week we had a slightly negative week. We went 2-2 with the picks, 1-1 in the locks, 1-1 in the leans. The sucker bet that we had, we were wrong. You should have bet on it. The dog was off, but the teaser hit. So it was all in all pretty decent. Let's just run through the games real quick that we didn't bet on. And to be fair, I was recording my stuff on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, and I did wind up betting on it. I think I talked about it, but because we're too late, I didn't get it out in time. I was sick last week, didn't work out. So we bet on Cleveland, and Jesus Christ, what a fucking massacre that game was! Holy shit! I fell asleep a little bit on the couch towards the end there, and woke up to the melee going on. That was wild. And, just let's be honest here for a second. How does Mason Rudolph not get suspended? How? I don't even understand how. He was probably the more antagonistic one of the entire fucking group. Like, granted, he didn't try and club somebody, in the head with an object, but he was on the ground. He was doing some bullshit. He was fucking ripping Miles' helmet off. And then when that started to go down, it just looked like, hey, Miles was like, yo, this is what we're doing. And then he kept coming at him. How he didn't get suspended at all is absolutely beyond me. At least a game. You should have given that guy a fucking game. But yeah, I actually read today about Myles Garrett. His defense was that, this other guy took a helmet off in 2013 and swung it at a guy, and he only got one regular season game. Solid defense, to be fair. Solid defense. But yeah, fuck all that. We took Cleveland. I took Cleveland in my real life, not on the podcast, though, so I am not going to count it. That was a winner, though. Dallas, we took them. There was no real numbers available at that time because nobody knew about Matthew Stafford and his fucking broken back. That dude wants to play, and he's got a broken back. Like, sit the fuck down, you moron. Like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Settle down. Dallas, we should have bet it, didn't. Minnesota, we took. That was a wild game too. Losing 20-0, then they came back. Unreal. Good for them. Fucking stupid Denver. They got to be feeling like a bunch of jerk-offs right now. That was a loss. The Jets should have bet it. They fucking smoked Washington. Really should have been on them. It's my fault, really. I don't know why. Just didn't trust them, but I think they're definitely on the upswing. We'll talk about them more in a little bit. Next game we didn't bet on. We took Arizona. At the time, it was 10.5. That would have won. There was a bunch of controversy at the end of that one because of that last score, which turned a lot of wins to a push, and a couple of, losses to a win if you got that 9.5. So, yeah, pretty tough. And let's see, we took Oakland. That was the wrong move. Cincinnati kept it kind of close in that one. Oakland just didn't seem super interested in the beginning, it seemed. I don't know. I was in the car, listened to it on the radio. And then Chicago at the Rams. We took the Rams. That would have won. I actually did take the Rams at night. True degenerate. Yeah, you know what I did too? I did my Thursday teaser on Sunday night, and it fucking worked also. Teased Rams, teased the under. Home team in the under. So those were the games we did not wager on. It was a pretty interesting week of the NFL. Pretty interesting. So let's talk about what didn't work out. Yo, that Carolina game. Wow, what a fucking... That was a drubbing. I felt awful there. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. Apparently, they decided to just turn it on at the end of the season when they were already out of the playoff hunt, just dominating teams that beat the shit out of them earlier in the year. Does not make any sense. So our 2-unit bet on Carolina was bad and wrong, and we should not have done that. But the other lock came through. That was Kansas City on Monday night, -3.5. That game was a little dicey, too, for a little bit. If Phillip Rivers doesn't throw a million fucking interceptions, that game is a lot closer. And they probably win. I mean, he turned the ball over 4 times. It was disgusting. But, for me and my wallet and my picks and my ego and, just my general overall well-being, I like to win games. And so I'll take a sloppy game if that means I'm on the other side. For the leans, we went with Miami back to that well. Did not work out this time. They got smoked at home by Buffalo. I guess they are really Miami. That Fitzmagic dust does wear off after a while. And the next lean we had was Philly and New England under 45. That was fantastic. I mean, we should have looked for like an alt line for that because I think they scored like a total of 27. Was it 17-10? Yeah. But yeah, so we called the sucker bet of the week was the Patriots. And that was a good bet. Should have been a good bet. You weren't a sucker if you made that bet. It was 3.5, I think it was. Where the fuck are we? Yeah, 3.5. And Patriots won by a touchdown. But man, that game was ugly at the end. They just couldn't do anything. Nobody could do anything. It was just two miserable, inept offenses on the field. And you couldn't even tell if the defenses were good or if the offenses were just that bad. You know what I love too? At the end of that game, when Wentz had that little scramble around and then he heaved it up and it goes and he bounces and it hits Aguilar. It hits Aguilar in the hands and it fucking just bounces out of his hands. Like he could have absolutely caught that for a game-time touchdown at the end, but he didn't. And all I could think of was that dude who made that video about catching the babies in Aguilar his eyes must have rolled like a complete 360 in his head, like, oh my god, not again. He's like, now I gotta go outside, look for a news crew, make some more Aguilar shit in the comments. But yeah, so that didn't work out. Patriots, they would have won. Tampa Bay did not show up at home against New Orleans. I don't know what my love affair with Tampa Bay was this season. I think it started with all the gaudy fantasy numbers. I think it peaked when they beat the Rams, and then I've just been losing money with them ever since. So I am done. I am absolutely done with Tampa Bay. The teaser, this is something we should have just hit this angle in a different way. I was kicking myself during the day when I saw these games, and I'm talking about first of all, the first leg of the teaser we had with the Carolina-Atlanta under when only one team scores like 3 points or 10 points or whatever the fuck Carolina scored. It's pretty easy, especially when you tease it up to 55. But these next two games are the ones that I'm really referring to. And I'm talking about them because I mentioned last week that the teams coming off of the bye following London were 0-6. And the Ravens and the Colts were facing teams that were coming off of the bye, coming home from London. And we should have just bet those instead of throwing them in a tease. We should have bet those individually. But nope, we did not. So we just watched our teasers just completely smoke. So if we would have parlayed this, it would have fucking won. That would have been nice. But we teased it. Still pretty nice. Got like a 1.7 return. And so with the 2-unit Carolina loss, the Miami loss, the Tampa Bay loss, that is about 4 units down. 4 units down. And on the plus side, we've got Kansas City 1, Philly, New England was under 45, and the teaser hit. So that's like 3.7 up, 4 down. That's negative. That's no good. We don't like it. So, because I was embarrassed, because I was feeling like I've let everybody down, all 8 subscribers on the YouTube channel and 4 people who download this, I did not want to do that again this week. So we're diving in hard. Went hard. Sat down, took a look. So just real quick also, I went through the tally again, did it up. The games that I seem to be super fucking confident in are usually the games that I lose. The games that I have medium confidence in, I usually do well. So like that, like my locks, terrible on the locks. 7-15, leans 19-14. I think a lot. I want to break these numbers down a little bit better so I can look at like totals. Where I am at totals. Just break it up, get a little more data, break it down, see if I have some place where I got like an edge, where I'm seeing things better. So anyway. Let's dive in. Week 12. Here we go. As per usual, we will start with the games that I'm not placing any wagers on. And these are all wagers that I've already placed. And sometimes while I'm doing this, I talk myself into more shit. So, first game that there is no wager on is Tampa Bay at Atlanta. When this popped up, I thought Atlanta minus 4.5. Opened at 3, went up to 4.5. That's where it sits right now. If I had to, gun to my head, I'm going with Atlanta on this. Tampa Bay just looks too fucking bad, and Atlanta seems to have turned a corner. But again, I don't trust Atlanta even after 2 solid performances in a row. And I have just went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers Anonymous, and I've got my 1 week off of them coin. So, I'm just off of Tampa Bay, so I don't want anything to do with this game. The next game on my list, I actually had this written up as a bet, but then I realized that whenever I bet on this team, I do not read them well, so I just scratched it from my list. You should never be afraid to do that in your own gambling world and life, but I'm talking about the Giants. The Giants, they are my home team. They are the team I love and I root for, but yeah, I actually thought maybe I'm seeing them through rose-colored glasses, but I thought because Chicago was so bad, because that's what I'm really basing this off of. They're the home team. They're the ones who are supposed to have the advantage, but they are just a bad team. You don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. Last week they had a fake hip injury for their quarterback. And yeah, the Giants aren't great either, but the Giants could put up some points. And the Giants have shown some fight here and there, and the Giants' defense has played a little bit above their heads. So I thought it was going to be 3. Opened up at 7. So that's when I was like, yo, let me jump on this shit. By the time I got to it, it was 6. And I'm just, you know what? I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I talked myself out of it. So much like sometimes I talk myself into shit, I talk myself out of it. I talked myself out of it when I was looking at it and about to hit enter on my wager. So I stopped. And I did not bet on it. Next game we are not betting on. We're going with Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, they're gonna be missing one offensive lineman. They're gonna have a quarterback with a dent in his head, and no Juju Smith-Schuster, no James Conner's iffy, and so this is gonna be just absolutely terrible. This game's gonna be super fucking ugly. Cincinnati is just terrible in itself. When the line opened, I thought it was gonna be 4.5. It opened at 7, and now it's down to 6.5. But yeah, staying away from it. If I had to, I'm taking Cincinnati. Give me more of those points. Next game, not betting on. Carolina goes to New Orleans. Both of those teams fresh off of getting the shit beat out of them by Atlanta in the last 2 weeks. So maybe they could talk about, like, hey, what the fuck happened there before the game. Maybe, Riverboat Run and Sean Payton can get together and do that. When this came out, I thought it was going to be New Orleans minus 10.5. I mean, Kyle Allen did look terrible. He's looked bad for the last couple of weeks now. All that, new quarterback smell has worn off a little bit. Now he just smells like a fucking dirty sock. This game opened at 7, went to 9.5 in New Orleans' favor. I'm just staying away from it. Drew Brees has still scared me. And I don't know if Carolina's defense can show up or not again. They might. I don't know. But I'm staying away, not wasting money on it. Next game with no bets, we got Detroit, the Lions. We got probably Jeff Driscoll because, Matthew Stafford's back is broken. It's kind of ridiculous that people are even thinking that he's playing. Like, even with I understand maybe like an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, you get a fracture in your forearm or some shit. You wrap that up, you treat it like a club. But, the back? Come on. Like, that's ridiculous. Stop it. Just sit down for the rest of the fucking year, man. Just sit down. You've been playing excellent. People will only say good things about you. It'll only go poorly for you if you come back. It's the only thing that can happen. It's no way you're not going to lead the team to the playoffs. You already missed out on a bunch of fucking season stat records because you're missing all these games anyway. Don't even try it. Sit back, relax, get healthy. Come back next year with your monster receiving core and, make a run at it that time. Yeah, I don't even think I said anything about Washington, but they're fucking terrible. I don't need to, but I don't trust Detroit and their backup quarterback, though. I thought it was Detroit minus 3. It opened at 1.5, and now it's at 3.5. So if I had to pick, I'm taking Washington. They're bound to have a good game at some point, maybe. Darius Geis looked good. Not bad. But yeah, not putting money on this. Next game, no money. Jacksonville at Tennessee. When this game opened up, I thought it was going to be Tennessee minus 3. Turned out to be Tennessee minus 2.5. Moved up to Tennessee minus 3. Look, I don't know what to make of Jacksonville. Nick Foles actually looked somewhat decent, but they still got destroyed. The defense didn't look good. Yeah, I'm just staying away from them for a little bit. Need to see what they look like. If the motivation's still there, I don't know if it is. Maybe not. Could not be. Maybe all the motivation left with Minshew. Maybe that Minshew motivation. I don't know. Instead of it, they don't deal. It's the Bible Belt, so they don't deal with Big Dick Nick motivation. They need Minshew motivation. But that's it. That is the last game of the week. That there are no any sorts of wagers or talking abouts. So now let's dive in to the locks and the leans. So this week we've got 2 locks, 3 leans. Let's go 4-1. That's what I'm looking for. 4-1 out of these. Everything 1 unit each. Nothing super stood out to me. So yeah, let's start off Thursday night. Look, people are gonna be like, oh, you're just it's recency bias. One team just got smoked and the other team just won. So you're taking the team that won, assuming that those are the real them. No, it's not that. It's Frank Reich. I like Frank Reich. I like him getting the points. I like him over Bill O'Brien. I like him and his ability to draw up an offense that can still move the ball against a barely mediocre defense. And I think that they'll be able to put it together. I think they'll be able to keep it close, if not within a field goal, then if not win it outright. I like Indy a lot in this spot. And to be honest, I think that I was going to probably lock this up, but because of what we talked about before, my tendency to not jump out of my shoes at stuff, I still like it enough where I'm going to put it on my leans. So I'm leaning towards Indy plus the 3.5 on Thursday night. Next up, I got another lean for you. And we're going, so we got Thursday night we opened up with. Now we are going to Sunday night. And I'm leaning towards the over in the Green Bay and the San Francisco game. The forecast for the weather, it's not super windy. Windy is what fucks up the over-unders a little bit. It's supposed to be clear skies too. Pretty moderate temperatures, not like Green Bay, gives a shit about temperatures. And it's San Fran's home stadium, so they should be fucking into it. Whatever it is. But yeah, I like over in this game a lot. And I know I know that San Fran has an above average defense. They have a very good defense, like second defense according to DVOA. But I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to move the ball on him. I still think that he's going to be able to. He's got his weapon back. Adams, Aaron Jones, the running backs, Williams, they're both doing well. And all those no-name guys that came out of the fucking woodwork to catch all those passes, they're still there too. And I think that he's able to move around a little bit and keep the plays alive and find some room. And I think Jimmy G is going to be able to put up points on the Green Bay defense. So I like the over 46 a lot in this. It's opened at 44. It's actually now at 47.5 while I'm recording this. So you want to catch that before it hits 48. So jump, go, grab it now, hit it quick. So those are my two leans. So let's talk about some locks. Oh no, wait, no, there's a third lean. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is kind of tied into something else. I'll talk about that later. So we'll talk about the locks now. So we got, look, there are two underdogs, two teams traveling. I just talked about one that I really like this week, going to teams that I think are slightly overrated. And I'm talking about Seattle and Green Bay. They are both traveling to two teams. Green Bay going to San Fran, Seattle going to Philly. And I think when this opened, man, the Seattle game, I thought Seattle was going to be favored. And Philly hasn't looked good. Like, I don't know why people think that. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I thought Seattle was going to be favored by like 2, maybe 1.5, something like that. But no, opened to Philly -3, moved all the way down to 1.5. I grabbed it at 2. I know 2's not a great number, but I'm taking it. I'm sticking with it, and I'm, I fucking dig it, man. So the other one is Green Bay. I talked about it already. I think Green Bay is going to be able to move the ball. I know San Fran's got a great defense, but Green Bay is going to be able to put points up. And I don't think San Fran's offense is as cracked up as it is. And I think they might struggle to keep pace, but they'll try. And they'll be able to do well because of finding the holes in Green Bay's defense. And Shanahan's a very good coach over there. And he'll be able to find those holes. I'm sure he's already got them picked out and fucking figured out how to make them even wider. But I just think Green Bay, primetime Aaron Rodgers, man, give me that shit. They flex it in there. Yeah, give me that. Give me Green Bay and Seattle, locks, both the points. I'll take them. So let's talk now. It's cold in here. My socks are falling down. That's why I'm reaching if you're watching this. So let's talk now about the sucker bet, and it's going to turn us into the next lean. I think a lot of people are going to look at what Oakland has done recently and what the Jets, not what the Jets have done recently, but what the Jets have done all year before that. I think they're going to look at the records. They're going to look at some of the stats, and they're going to think that Oakland is the right play here, -3, and they are wrong. They are suckers. That is not the right move. What you have to look at is Oakland just played a bunch of close games in their own stadium. They could have lost any one of those. You also got to look at them traveling cross country to play the early game. That's fucking tough. You also got to look at what they're looking at, which is Kansas City next weekend. So the Jets have been playing a lot better, and Oakland's been playing good, but they've been playing like on the razor's edge. You know what I mean? And I think they're due for a loss, and definitely don't think that they should be, pumped up favorites here coming across the country. So give me the Jets plus the 3 as a lean, and Oakland is the sucker bet of the week. Let's talk real quick about the dog. I mentioned before I'm getting a fresh dog. Here's what the fresh dog is for this week, and that's give me Dallas plus 250. Give me Dallas plus 250. Listen, I get it. Dallas has looked bad on the road. People are going to think about that Jets game and be like, oh, Dallas, that was a rough one. They can't go on the road. Look at the Giant game after that. Beat the shit out of them. So, look, Dallas going to New England, yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, New England has the coaching advantage. But you know what else New England also has? They have a quarterback who hasn't looked fucking good. They have a defense who everybody's lauding, but hasn't really played anybody. And the one time they did, they fucking got smoked. I'm not impressed that... Show me Philly's full complemented offense, and then Philly hold them to 10 points, and then New England hold them to 10 points. And then maybe I'll give them some credit. Yeah, if they stop Dallas this week, I'm still not going to give them any credit if they stop Dallas this week because A, fuck them, and B, yeah, Dallas could fucking lay an egg on the road with a shitty coach like they have. But they got the talent to absolutely win this game outright. And I think plus 250 is a solid number for that. So I say give me that plus 250. Dallas is the dog of the week. Next up, we are going to talk about a tease. And there's only 3 games left. 3 games left for the tease. Let's start out in Buffalo. Yo, for some reason, people are hammering the Broncos. I don't get it. I guess that this line was going to open at Buffalo -7. It went from it opened at 5.5. 5.5. Like, just because Denver played good for 1/2 in Minnesota, like, they're both the same climate team, so I'm not really concerned about the elements of them going to Buffalo. But I am concerned about Denver playing a quarterback who hasn't really played more than 3 NFL games against a defense like Buffalo's. So the under is already like 37 or something ridiculous like that. Yeah. So I'm taking Buffalo. Right now it's at 4, so I'm teasing this to Buffalo plus 2. I mentioned before that the 2 was not fucking anything really significant, but whatever. It saves me from a last second, 1-point field goal, stupid shit. But whatever. So give me Buffalo in that teaser plus 2. Next one, we're going to Cleveland. What we're going to do here is we are going to take Cleveland down. Because I think, as much as I've liked Miami, I think they might have shot their load. I think last week they were just like, oh, yeah, that's right. We're not that great. We're going to stop. And I'm not saying Cleveland is great, but I think that they've got the weapons to beat this defense. I think they've got a common cause to rally around, and that's the defense of their shitty edge rusher, Myles Garrett, who fucking tried to kill a guy. And for some reason, they're all going to rally around him. But, I know Baker fucking had that nice press conference after the game and was just like, nah, there's no room for that shit. And he's right. But seriously. So I think that the team is going to rally around it. I think that they still have eyes on maybe fucking sneaking into the playoffs. Because the AFC is still kind of a little bit more open than the NFC is in terms of wild card shit. So I think Cleveland's got hope, but I don't like the 10.5. I still think Miami's a little bit frisky there, especially with Fitzy. You never know what he's going to do. But I think if you take that down to 4.5, I think that that's a solid number that you can beat with Cleveland for sure. And the last leg of the teaser, the game I did not talk about, that's the Ravens at the Rams. And you're probably thinking I'm going to do Baltimore, but I'm not. I like the Rams in this spot. I think they have a defense that could slow them down. They have pieces that could kind of slow Baltimore down. Baltimore's been running wild these last couple of weeks. They're bound to hit a speed bump a little bit. And I think with this line moving up to 4, that I think teasing the Rams up to 10 is a solid move. You get home dogs with a solid defense. I think this game's going to be closer than people give it credit for. I think the Rams are going to try and eat the clock because the way to beat Baltimore is to run against them. And the Rams' offense has not looked good passing wise. Cooper Kupp looked a little bit lost at times last week against Chicago. But I like the Rams. Give me them in the teaser. I think they're a little bit live here also. But, man, Baltimore just does look so fucking good at times. They really do. Like, it's almost like a college team. Like I don't know. Like a Tim Tebow fucking in Florida and, running against some mediocre schools sometimes. Like, they just have no interest or no ability to even tackle them or catch them at times. It's ridiculous. It's like a fucking video game. But I'm almost talking myself out of this. But no, I am not. The Rams and the tees, I like it. And also, if the first two legs of the tees hit, maybe we do a little hedge Monday night. A little, money line, a little sweet spot hedge, something like that. Yeah, that's what I like to call it, the sweet spot. I don't like to call it middling. I call it the sweet spot hedge. So let's recap real quick. So we've got for the locks and the leans. The locks are Seattle +2 and Green Bay +3. The leans, we're going with Indianapolis +3.5. We're going with Green Bay and San Fran over 46. Right now it's at 47.5. Grab it before it touches 48. And then we're also going with the Jets +3. We're taking all the points this week. Oh boy, I don't know why that makes me nervous, but fuck you. Power on. The bets are already made. Their tickets are already in. And the sucker bet of the week, we're saying Oakland is the sucker bet of the week. It is not a good idea to put the money on Oakland this week. Dog of the week, we got Dallas +250. The teaser is Buffalo +2, Cleveland -4.5, and the Rams up to 10. I am Mike. I am the Sports Dope. Go to mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope so you can find the YouTube link and the Instagrams and all that bullshit. If you go to my Instagram, my Twitter @thatsportsdope, you're going to see some fucking cool new artwork. And that is courtesy of my friend Andrea Fowler at AndreaFowlerDesign.com. Yo, thank you for checking it out. Thank you for sticking it out if you're still here. Peace out. Let's get some money.